Mother Jones did a fantastic article on the plaintiffs in the case on Obamacare that the Supreme Court is going to hear in March. The reporter here is Stephanie Mensimer, and she went and found the plaintiffs. So she said, okay, you guys are suing. You really want to get rid of Obamacare. It's on this technicality. Why do you care so much? Well, of course, the reality is they don't know a thing about it. They got put up to it. Right? Now, so first she explains who put them up to it. She says the King case, that's what it's called, started out as a legal theory hatched by a group of conservative lawyers in 2010 at a conference sponsored by the American Enterprise Institute. Of course. That's a right-leaning think tank. It's funded greatly by the Koch brothers. The attendees were urged to devise litigation strategy to bring down the Affordable Care Act, which months earlier had been signed into law. Now let's note the irony here. So these guys who are always whining and complaining about tort reform, they had too much lawsuits. The minute Obamacare comes in to effect, they're like, let's do a lawsuit, litigation. No, when they say tort reform, they mean don't sue the corporations. We want to keep all the money. Even if we did you wrong, even if we harmed you or your family, I don't want you to sue me. Me? Oh, I get to sue anybody I like. Yeah, I can't wait to sue Obama to defeat this. Wait, I also thought you guys hated activist judges. You wanted the will of the people to speak, and Congress passed this, and it was very clear, right? Oh, no, you like activist judges when it's your turn. Interesting. Okay. Now, let me tell you who's in this group. The Libertarian Competitive Enterprise Institute. Now, that's a similar organization, obviously. It's a think tank funded by big pharmaceutical firms, oil and gas outfits, the Koch brothers, Google, tobacco companies, and conservative foundations, and they answered the call. So the real people behind the lawsuit are the incredibly wealthy and the corporate interests that care about this Affordable Care Act. Okay, but they can't go in there and be like, hey, you know what? I don't want to pay my employees more. I don't like to give them health insurance. I don't want people to get new insurance or have it be cheaper. I'm a pharmaceutical company. I want to make more money. This won't let me make more money. This helps the American people. They can't say that, right? So they got to find 4 people to come in there and sue. Now they could find more people if they wanted, but apparently they couldn't. They couldn't, so they found these 4 schleps. And wait till you get a load of their stories. So again, Mensimer went to go talk to them. One of them was David King. The guy makes, according to the papers filed in the lawsuit, about $39,000. It's not like he's rich. He's not among the elite, right? So why did he do it? Why did he join this lawsuit? And it turns out, by the way, that he probably wouldn't have had to pay a penalty under Obamacare. He might not be relevant at all in this lawsuit. He might not even have standing. So when she asked him about it, he said, according to the story here, when I asked him about the lawsuit, he brought up Benghazi. What does Benghazi have to do with the Affordable Care Act? No, they just found a guy who actually would benefit from the law, except he doesn't realize it. I'll get to that in a second. And he hates Obama. So why are you against Obamacare? Benghazi. Unbelievable. She goes on to explain. David King said he doesn't care if millions of Americans lose their health coverage because they're probably not paying for it anyway. Then she goes on to explain the facts. But according to a new analysis by the Urban Institute, of the 8 million people most at risk of losing their health insurance if King prevails, 80% are employed. They're not bums, they're employed. Moreover, 70% are high school graduates or have some college education. More than 60% are white and live in the South, and 82% of them are not poor but low and middle income. More than 1 million of the Americans whose health coverage in this lawsuit puts at risk are over 55. In short, many of them are David King. So David King, of course, is white. He's from the South. He's above the age of 55. He's in that exact income bracket. Well played. Okay. And it's also very likely that if he investigated the Affordable Care Act, he would save hundreds of dollars a month. I mean, my God, man, you're not that rich. Go ahead and save the money. He says he won't even look into it because it's Obamacare, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with Obama. Oh, okay, then we go to Rose Luck. Now, Rose has not had a lot of luck because she had unpaid medical bills of $5,000. So obviously she had some significant issues. Now, they got paid along the way at some point. Unclear how they got paid. But anyway, obviously this was a huge issue in her life. And Obamacare would help with that. She would get insured, she would get lower insurance, lower rate for the insurance. Well, it turns out she's not a big fan of Obama either. On her Facebook page, she has called him the Antichrist, voiced her belief that Obama came to power because he got his Muslim people to vote for him, and noted her refusal to acknowledge his legitimacy as president. Quote, "Oh, hell no, I wouldn't admit he was our president," she wrote in one Facebook comment. So, why are you against the Affordable Care Act? Because I hate Obama. I mean, we used to joke about the line, because Benghazi. It turns out it's literal. Okay, so now we go to Brenda Levy. Now, she's not in the category of, she's conservative, but not as hard right as the others, right? Doesn't hate Obama as much. In fact, she used to be a member of the Sierra Club, so it's a fascinating character. She's 64 years old. So they ask her, how'd you get involved in this case? Quote, "I don't know how I got on this case. I haven't done a single thing legally. I'm gonna have to ask them how they found me." She has bills that are of $1,500 for her health insurance. Under Obamacare, that might come down to $148. Oh my God, what have you done? What have you done? Look into the bill. She joked around about how she's got a lot of medical problems, actually. She said, I've had some holes drilled in my head. Then they say to her, hey, are you part of this process at all? I mean, you haven't talked to the lawyers, you don't know how you got on the case? She says, oh yeah, but I'm going to go hear the proceedings in front of the Supreme Court since I'm one of the plaintiffs. And she adds, quote, "It's an adventure, like going to Paris." Oh. Then they ask her, hey, how about all the people who are going to be thrown off of their health insurance if you win the case? She says, I don't want things to be more difficult for people. I don't like the idea of throwing people off their health insurance. Well, Brenda, I got bad news for you. About 8 million people would be thrown off their health insurance if you win. I know you want to go to Paris. Those 8 million people aren't going to Paris. And then she has a fundamental misunderstanding of how things work. She lives in Virginia. She says, I think Virginia Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe wants to expand Medicaid, she remarked. She didn't know that Medicaid expansion was part of Obamacare, or that the same forces backing her lawsuit have opposed this expansion in her state. She's in favor of Medicaid. She's 64. In a couple of months, she's going to start getting Medicare, which she's a big fan of. Medicare and Medicaid are government health insurance. You think the guys who put her up to this don't know that? They know that. So they found these poor schmucks, and they're like, yes. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, your health insurance would go sky high. You would pay less, idiot. Come on, join the lawsuit. Right? Oh, yeah, we're trying to help people get more insurance. Come on, Brenda, come along. Here you go. Oh, it's grotesque, man. Oh, yeah, isn't Medicare so much better? Oh, we hate get the government hands off of our health insurance. Levy contended that Obamacare had caused many Americans to lose their insurance and for premiums to rise. Of course, that is categorically false. In fact, the percentage of uninsured Americans has fallen from 18% to 13.4% since the law took effect just last year. So the reality is, they're getting her to do the exact opposite of what she wants. She just doesn't know it. These are the pawns that the elite use on their chessboard to go get the things that they want. They buy our politicians off with campaign donations. They buy off their staffers with lobbyist positions. And then they go find these poor schmucks who actually would be far better off under Obamacare, but hate Obama so much that they're willing to damage themselves, their financial well-being, and the well-being both health-wise and wealth-wise of their family to make sure that they sue Obama to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which in reality would help them. Welcome to America.